Hey, welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really important cultural value, one that kind of shapes whole societies. And you know how we're going to do it? By looking at something super simple, a weekend visit to see the grandparents.
But before we get into that, let me ask you something. Think about your own family for a second. What are those small, everyday things you guys do? The unspoken rules, the little gestures that actually say a lot about what you value. Just keep that question in the back of your mind because we're about to jump into a story where every single tiny detail is just overflowing with meaning.
All right, let's get right into it. So our story kicks off with a son. His name is Lin Sheng, and his dad. The scene is pretty simple, but don't let that fool you. The little chat they're about to have, it sets the stage for everything. Okay, now listen to this. The first thing that really jumps out is who's talking. It's Lin Sheng, the son. He's the one who brings up the visit. This isn't his dad nagging him or making it a chore. Nope, this is coming from him, a totally genuine thought that shows he's already thinking about his duty and, just caring for his family. And his dad's response? It's just as revealing. He basically just says, "Yep, it's been a while." That's it. There's no back and forth, no, "let me check my calendar." It's instant. Bam, done. And that tells you everything you need to know, right? For this family, visiting the grandparents isn't just an option. It's a priority, a shared one. So, the visit is on the books. What's the very next thing they think about? Getting ready. Because in this cultural context, there's one golden rule. You never show up to someone's house with nothing in your hands. And check this out. Once again, guess who brings it up? It's Lin Sheng. He's the one reminding his dad. This little detail is huge because it shows he's not just along for the ride. He's an active participant. He gets the customs and he understands what it takes to show respect. Now, this little gift actually has a special name, Ban Shou Li. And what's so important to understand is that this has nothing to do with how much money you spend. It's a token. It's a small gesture that basically says, "Hey, I was thinking of you, and thanks for having me over." It's a really fundamental piece of social etiquette. And what do they choose? A fruit gift box? It's the perfect example. It's practical, it's healthy, it's just a classic, thoughtful gift for older family members. It perfectly captures the whole idea of ban shouli. It's really, truly the thought that counts. Okay, so plans made, gifts in hand, and they've just arrived at the grandparents' house. Now, we need to pay really close attention to how they greet each other, because this is where you see the real emotional heart of the family. Right away, the grandmother's first words are just pure warmth, pure affection. Her immediate thought is about his comfort, getting him inside where it's warm, making sure he gets something to eat. This isn't some stuffy, formal greeting. It's all love. It's a welcome that makes you feel like you belong instantly. And that leads us right to the dinner table. You gotta understand, the dinner table is basically the main stage where respect is performed. This is where all those unspoken values we've been talking about suddenly become real, visible actions. Just look at this breakdown of what Lin Sheng does. It's like a masterclass in showing respect. First, he offers to serve the rice. Then he makes sure his elders sit down first, a classic gesture of deference. And then look how thoughtfully he serves them. He gets hot soup for his grandma, and then he makes sure his grandpa gets his favorite dish. Every single one of these actions is deliberate and full of meaning. And you bet these little things don't go unnoticed. His grandpa immediately praises him, calling him a good, considerate child. That's direct feedback. He sees what Lin Sheng is doing and knows exactly what it means. This is a kid with a good upbringing and, more importantly, a respectful heart. This next bit is like a classic cultural script of politeness. Lin Sheng gives a compliment, right? He says how amazing the food is as a way to show he's grateful. And what does his grandma do? She deflects it with humility, saying, "Oh, it's just some simple home cooking." It's this beautiful little dance, a graceful way of giving and receiving praise. And the praise isn't a one-way street. The grandmother compliments Lin Sheng on something as simple as how well he uses his chopsticks. Now, that might sound like a tiny random detail, right? But it's actually a form of affirmation. It's her way of saying, "I see you, I'm paying attention, and I'm proud of you." It just makes their bond even stronger. Okay, so we've seen all these little individual pieces, right? The son suggesting the visit, the gift, the way he served everyone, the compliments flying back and forth. Now let's zoom out and see how all these tiny dots connect to form one massive, super important idea in Chinese culture. And here it is, the big one, 孝顺, which we translate as filial piety. This concept is the glue. It's what holds all of Lin Sheng's actions together and gives them meaning. And the key thing is, it's not about making big, grand declarations of love. It's about the sum of all those small, consistent, thoughtful things we just watched him do.
So, if there's one thing to take away, it's this. Filial piety isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. It's a whole pattern of behavior. From the moment he suggested the visit, all the way to how he served the food, everything Lin Sheng did, when you put it all together, paints a perfect picture of what it means to be a 孝顺, grandson.
And that brings us full circle. Right back to that question I asked at the beginning. We've just seen a perfect example of how a bunch of seemingly small actions can stand for a massive cultural value. So why does this matter to you? Well, because it encourages us to look at our own lives a little closer. To ask ourselves, what's our version of serving the soup first? What's our version of bringing a small gift? What are those quiet, everyday ways we show love and respect that, in the end, mean absolutely everything? Something to think about. Thanks so much for watching.